Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Yeah, we kind of run out of grass now. We had a good night's sleep, but the cattle have run out of grass, even though they're in a field full of grass. So because they're actually in a field that is full of grass, we're not going to worry about it too much. And the electric fence has been in place. It's a shame you don't actually have electric fences in this game. We've got two fields over there that are waiting to be combined, so I might actually move on to those today, if we got time. I was seriously considering doing that. But anyway, our question for this week is, do you want me to do sheep or do you want me to do beef and pigs? I will do one or the other, and I will get enough to sort of make it worthwhile. So 100 pigs and 100 cattle, or say about 300, maybe even 400 sheep, something like that. Enough to give us something to do with them, but I will only do one or the other because I don't think we've really got time to do both. So tell me what you think, tell me what your thoughts are, head down below, it's your vote, it's your game. Now the map is currently updating, so we're getting another growth stage that is slowly coming through. And I'll let that one come through. I'm just going to... I'll bring the tractor over to here. So why have we got... Oh, I know why we got stripes. That's because that's where the hay was lying, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we want to bring the tractor down here because we're going to do out this little section at the bottom, remember, first. And then once we've done that section, we'll do little bits around the telegraph poles there. And then finally we'll start working on the main section of the field. And I will probably time-lapse that as well. I've actually included... That'll be 3 episodes this week where I've included a little section of time-lapse for you in each episode. So I might round it out to make the full 3 this week, I think. I don't normally do it because I do have a time-lapse and it does take a little while to do it and process it and all the rest of it. But I think I might this week. Right. Yeah, and as soon as we've done this field, before we go on to combining the next field, we will drag the baler down here, get some bales, and then see about bringing them back in. I think I might hire the Artisan stacker rather than trying to use any other methods, because I don't particularly like having to pick everything up in the field all the time. It gets a bit tiresome and boring. And like I have mentioned to you before, I have done it quite a bit in real life, and I don't really feel the need to bring back all those lovely memories of many, many, many hundreds and hundreds of hours of mind-numbing tedium. Anyway, get this one up. There we go. I really do like the texture on this, on the straw on this map. It is really cool. And I am waiting to see if the texture on the other field, on the barley over there, is going to be anything similar. Interesting to see that. Once we've got some bales, we'll stack these in. I am definitely going to use the Artisan. I think we're going to hire it for a day. That should be enough time then, so that we can gather up the bales here and on the small field over the other side. And we'll whack them back into the shed. And then, by my reckoning, the Pecan mixer, that's a 64,000 litres. So if I was to put 5 bales of silage, the bales of silage are 4, I think they're 4,000 litres in a bale. So it should be 5 bales of silage, 5 bales of hay, because they're the same. And I might be wrong on that, actually. They might be a different size. We'll see. I'll chuck 5 in and then we'll measure them. But I think it's 5 silage, 5 hay, and then 5 straw. That'll take us to 60,000. I don't want to put in an extra straw just in case it sort of takes it over the limit. And there's no need to put any of the other 2 in, so then we'll chuck in the 60,000 like that. And we'll probably end up doing 2 loads for the cows. I don't know if we'll have time to do that today. It might end up being the beginning of next week that we do that. So just spin round here and drop down here. And yeah, I'm not going to do very much combining from inside the cab because, like I've said before, I don't particularly like the view that you get. You can't really see what you're doing in there. And here we get to sort of admire the machine. And this does look really cool. I am quite pleased with this machine. It does look very good. It's not the biggest of headers, but for the size of the farm, this does seem to be one of the bigger fields. It's seems appropriate. It seems about right. And of course, the big question is, I haven't looked it up yet, is about the sunflowers, whether or not we'll actually be able to do them on this map. Well, not that we'll be able to do them, is whether we'll be able to do them with this combine, and whether we need a special header. I will look that up before next week, just so that I can tell you one way or another what we're going to be doing. Actually, I'll tell you what. If I switch this one out a minute, and we'll do the bits in between the posts. Let's see now. We want to go here just so we can see what we're doing. Lower header. I need to turn it off first, I think. Oh, no. No, I need to go into the main body of the machine. And disable straw swath is that one. There we go. Right, there's the chopper engaged. Nice little animation on it. And if I come up through here, I want to switch to the front. Right, now, we don't need to worry about our header behind us, not our header, the trail of straw anymore, where that's going to be and how it's going to affect the other machines. We're just going to spray straw everywhere. I was thinking I would leave it to the top, but I won't. I'll come down here, lift that one up. Of course, in real life, if you left the header down while you were traversing a line of straw, you just drag it into the combine and thresh it again. It doesn't do a lot of damage to it. Well, it mashes up the straw a bit more, so if you're wanting it for bales, for bedding, it's not generally a good idea, because you don't want it mashed up too much, because it can... it's better to have sort of more of a stalk that's left on the straw, so it does actually have an effect. Because there's combines, you've got two different sorts. Well, it's actually three, but one's kind of a hybrid of the two. You have ones that have got the traditional straw walkers, which is how they always used to be made. I'm going to try and do this from in the cab, just for a bit. I say I don't particularly like doing it, but we will do it. So yeah, you've got straw walkers, and all that is, straw walker, is it's like these great big plates that move backwards and forwards and walk the straw out of the machine. And it literally does that. They sort of walk. They lift up, move forward, and then drop down and move back. And they just keep doing that, rotating that. And that moves the straw out the back of the machine. And that is very good. It's a very efficient way of doing it. But some companies do it a little bit differently. They use an auger instead of straw walkers. The problem with an auger is, I mean, it's good in that it throws the straw out faster, but it's bad in that it can really mash the straw up a lot more than straw walkers do. So some farmers don't like them at all, and I know quite a few people that do baling. I've done it myself. Trying to follow behind something that uses the auger instead of the straw walkers, it makes it very difficult for the bales, as you don't get as neat and even a bale. The straw is much, much smaller and messier, and it's generally not as good if you're baling it up. If you're not baling it up, though, you can get through the field quite a bit faster. So there's a whole argument for and against these the new screw method. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. I'm sure there is an actual proper name for them, rather than just screws. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. It sort of screws the straw out instead. Now, I've just turned off the thingy there. Oops, I didn't actually mean to do that. I meant to do that. There we go. Right, yeah, I've turned off the straw chopper. We're back to leaving it in a row. I suspect that just this one line up through here will be sufficient, and then we can do out the rest of the fields. So we do get 3 tankfuls into one trailer, which will keep it going quite nicely. And what I'm going to do now, I think, is I will give you a little bit of time lapse on this field. I probably won't bother on the other fields if I decide to move over and do those today, but I will for this field. So we'll finish out this little bit, and then we can get a baler in here, because I'm quite keen to feed our animals. We've got that pecan mixer there. It would be nice to be able to use it and see what that thing has got to offer. And there you have it. Just this last little bit. And that is our wheat harvest all done. I'm not going to go on and do the barley and the oilseed rape or canola today. I'll do that next week sometime. I'm not sure when. My priorities are at the moment going to be planting this field with sunflowers and getting the potatoes planted in one of the other fields. Because we've seen combining before. So if the combining in those other two fields doesn't get done, well, if we don't get round to it, we don't get round to it. We can live with that because we've now seen the combine being used. There's 2 episodes that we've played around with the combine, and we will have an episode where we do the sunflowers, so we will see it some more anyway. So I'm not all that concerned if we don't actually get to doing the barley and the canola over the other side. I'm just going to move this one over into that next field a minute. And because we've had the auto combine running, it puts the top speed down to 6 miles an hour every time. I don't know why it does that, but it's just one of the little quirks of it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to park this one in here for now. I'm not going to worry about trying to unhitch the header or anything like that. I'm just going to park it up. So let me just hang on. That one. Lower it down. Then back to that one, and what are you doing? No, back to that one, and then fold up the combine. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. And I will park it right there. We will move that one later on. I'm not going to worry about it now. I'm going to go and get that trailer and start taking that one up to the yard to tip, and then we can get the baler out here and start baling up this straw. That is a lovely big trailer, that is. It's just right for this tractor as well. I mean, you've got to put a fair bit of effort into getting it up a hill, but it does look good on this tractor. I've got to admit, I really do like the look of that. That's seems to be a good size for the tractor. And I know that it does seem to sort of dwarf the machine, but trailers these days, you'd be surprised. You see silage trailers moving up and down, and they can really dwarf the tractor that's pulling them. Let's go into cab for this. And you've probably seen, I don't know how well you've seen it during the time-lapse, because obviously I haven't edited it yet, so I'm not sure how well it's come out. But you really do have to give it some welly, and remember, I was talking to you about giving welly yesterday, wasn't I? To get up the hill over here. I did notice that. So we'll come through here, and I'm giving it some revs, and this is the thing, when you're pulling big trailers around, you do have to help the machines out a little bit. So we get a little bit of a run up here and give it welly now and then up the hill and then foot off the accelerator here as we get to the top so that it slows down and it's nicely controlled as we come into the pit. Just move in over here. So we move up. We want to bring it forward so that it comes right over to the end of the pit. There we go. And then we can start tipping. You know what? I could actually just leave this one right here where he is. I don't know if he'll tip while I switch him off, though. Let me just come forward a minute. So I'm just going to come out of cab a second so that I can see what's going on. Right. There we go. Right, I'm just going to park that one right there. I can put that one away later. Because right now I'd like to get this one back on. It's my steering wheel going funny again. So hitch and put that one on. There we go. Start it up. Now we do have some hay in, but we're not going to worry too much about that. Resetting the counter. Let me reset the counter. There we go. So I reset the counter. That's press R. You get that if you go to refill with fuel as well, when you're partway through the harvest. Which I did notice on one of my time-lapse episodes, and it was slightly annoying, a little bit frustrating that was. So we're not going to get to feeding the cattle today, so that will be first thing next week, because I'm going to finish out doing some baling now, and then next week we'll get an artisan. We'll hire one to bring these bales in, and then I probably won't be bringing many more bales in for a little while, so I want to lower that one down. I want to unfold the baler. Let's just move in a little bit further. There we go, and turn the baler on. Right. Through here, and we're into straw. Now, is that first bale going to magically transform itself into all straw? Yes, it has. Obviously, you wouldn't normally have that, but they don't have an option for emptying out half a bale. I would really like to see that. That's a little detail I would like to see in a future version of Farming Simulator. Maybe Farming Simulator, I don't know if they would get it into 19, maybe Farming Simulator 21. That would be quite an awesome thing to see, would be the part bales, so you could eject a part bale or even mixed bales. So, you know, your first half of the bale is hay, second half is straw, because you do get that, you do see that. It's not completely outside the realms of possibility. Now, in round the corner here. There we go. Right, I'm going to try and come into cab. A minute, hang on. There we go. The bales sort of stick to the baler a little bit. Right, see, this is why I don't like coming into cab and looking behind me. I've left a stripe. We'll just have to leave the stripe, they'll be fine. We'll probably have more than enough straw here. This is why I don't particularly like coming into cab, because you can't see very well, and you because you've got to spin round so fast, it does make it a little bit more difficult. I know that some people are really looking forward to VR support in Farming Simulator. Personally, I'm not so much, because I'll have to be forever spinning my head round backwards and forwards, because in real life, farmers spend their entire day sort of rotating their heads backwards and forwards, especially when you're doing a job like this. You sort of sit sideways, and you look in front and you look behind, and you spend equal amounts of time, very often, especially when you're doing difficult stuff, looking forward and then looking backwards. Sometimes you can zone out and you don't have to look behind you too much, but for the most part you've got to concentrate and you've got to be looking behind you at all times. So you've also got to watch where you're going, and that's what makes it so difficult. Right, I'll come up through here. So we've got one round around the outside, and then we got all this short work. So I might just do this outside bit, and then we can have a go with this short work that we got underneath. I might do that. And we can see all these little short bits here, and then all that long stuff over there. I'll do that before next week, because we've seen a fair bit of baling now, and I did time-lapse a bit of baling as well, so I'm not too worried that you're going to be missing out on anything, because we have seen a lot of it. He's coming up through here nice and quick. And then all of this will be finished. We can gather them up with an Arcusan. I know I normally use a bale trailer. I've no desire to be chasing bales with the Octo Quad again, because we have used that one. I've tried it out, and I don't really want to be doing it with a loader, because well, I'm not a fan of doing that, because of all those thousands upon tens of thousands of bales that I have moved in real life. Yeah, that's the one part of this game that I try to avoid where I can, is doing too much loader work with bales. And that, yeah, we've used an auto-load trailer. We had the auto-load trailer in Melbury Estate, and I've also been using it on the hard-working map on my time-lapse. Not the same one. I've got a different auto-load trailer on there. That's a Frithgar trailer. There's actually a few options for it. So I'm not going to use an auto-load trailer. I fancy using... Whoa! I wish it wouldn't do that. That's... yeah, that's really... It's off-putting when the bales sort of do a backwards flip off the end of the baler. It's like an Olympic diver waiting to take his special moment and then diving off the springboard, which is on the back of the baler. Brilliant. You gotta love it. That's one thing I like about this game, is the little odd bugs that you get here and there that just... It does sort of remind you that you are in fact playing a game and it's not real life. Well, I know that a lot of us would like it to be real life, and it would be absolutely awesome if it was, because for many of us, this is as close as we'll get to real life when it comes to operating the machinery and seeing all these things. But yeah, we do need to remember that it's not actually real life. So we are going to have these little bugs here and there where, you know, the Olympic springboard diving bales and other such little treats that we've got. And I'm running out of time, and I'm aware that the time-lapse will have taken up some time as well, so I'm going to cut this short. We've sort of seen a bit of baling, and do a little bit around this short work here. We'll just come up here and we'll take out these short pieces once I get up to there, while I say fairly well. So my question for this week is, do you want me to do sheep or do you want me to do beef and pigs? I'll do one or the other because we've only got 8 weeks. I don't think we've really got time for doing both. So I'm not going to commit to doing both. I will do one or the other. And in order to get some money, we're down to 40,000. I'm going to be using some money to hire an artisan very soon. And I'm also going to be using some money to hire planting equipment for potatoes. And I'm going to be using money to hire a forager for foraging up the the corn that is over for the biogas plant that we'll be putting into a silage clamp over there that we can sell for a bit of extra money. So I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be able to even get the sheep or the beef and the pigs, depending on which one you pick. So if I don't even get to it, I apologise. I will try, but it may not be possible. I suppose we could always take out a loan. How much loan have we got? We're a loan of 100. Oh, we can get another £100,000. We ought to be able to do it, even if we got to get ourselves up to our ears in debt. We will get beef and pigs, or we will get sheep. So head down to the comment section down below. Let me know which one you want. It's your vote. It's your game. And that's about it. I will do this now. So yeah, I'm going to finish up this entire field, bale it all up, and I will have an artisan ready for us on our next episode so we can gather the bales up. And then we can finally feed our cows our mixed rations. And then after that... decision. No, I'm going to prioritise sunflowers. Sunflowers next, so we will continue working this field. We will put sunflowers in here, and then after we have planted those, we will then look to planting potatoes in a field over there. So that is our next 2 tasks, and I'm hoping we'll get most of that done next week. And then the following week, no idea. A lot can happen between now and then, so who knows. So, until next time, thank you very much for watching. And if you really enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give me a like. And if you particularly enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And I know I've said it before, but I will say it again now. Thank you very much for watching. I repeat myself an awful lot, don't I? I sometimes forget what I'm saying at the end of the episode as I'm trying to wrap up. So I apologise for that, because I do keep saying the same thing over and over some weeks. Yeah, and if that's annoying, yeah, well, I've said sorry, I can't really do much else. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.